Okay, so now let's get into our next topic. Well, I saw we have comments, but I'll have to hold on because we already started this one. We'll get to the right after the Kim Cattrall thing. But anyway, let's move on and let's get to this story. Now, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago that, not even a couple of weeks, I think it was last week, that there was a story that came out from Elle Magazine that said, and I thought it was because if it's Elle Magazine, it's pretty legit because Elle Magazine is a fashion magazine. And, Sex and the City has been known for its fashion risks and all that other stuff. People got into the show not only because of New York City and the whole aesthetic, but because of how unapologetic the women, some of them were, in regards to talking about sex and sexuality. And then, of course, we had the fashions from Patricia Field, who styled all the ladies on the show. And even came back last season just to style Kim Cattrall for that one little cameo that she did on season 2 of And Just Like That. So Elle Magazine went and came out and said that Kim Cattrall may be coming back full time and and all this other stuff. But apparently Kim Cattrall got on social media and said, I don't know who told y'all that, but the results came back from Maury and they determined that it is a lie that I am returning back to the show. So, and just like that, Kim Cattrall has set the record straight about an unjust like that return. Now, Kim Cattrall basically politely broke the news that she won't be reprising her iconic Sex and the City character for the upcoming third season of its Max revival, and just like that, despite her drive-by cameo last year in the season 2 finale. After Life and Style reported earlier this month that Cattrall is striking up a deal for season 3, it wasn't only Life and Style. I saw, it was, yeah, well, Life and Style is sort of a tabloid, so I wouldn't necessarily went with that. But it was also, I saw Elle Magazine posted it. So it said, yeah, it looks like hashtag Kim Cattrall, aka Samantha Jones, will be back for And Just Like That season 3 after all, read one headline, to which Cattrall responded, "Oh, that's so kind, but I'm not." Cattrall played a sexually empowered publicist, Samantha Jones, for the original HBO show's 6-season run from 1998 to 2004, as well as the future adaptations that hit theaters in 2008 and 2010. And I remember around the time when I was in college in 2008, they literally shot the wedding sequence of Carrie in the street with the wedding gown and stuff on literally up the block from my school where I was going to school for when I was going to film school. It was like right over there by NYU, actually. So it's after opening up about her behind-the-scenes differences with co-star SJP, Cattrall opted not to reunite with Parker, Cynthia Nixon, and Kristen Davis in And Just Like That, which premiered in 2021. Cattrall still graced fans with a brief Samantha appearance in the season 2 finale last August, after Deadline reported the cameo earlier in May 2023. The scene featured the character in the backseat of a car on a phone call with Carrie Bradshaw, without ever having the two actresses in the same room. Now, the British Canadian actress revealed one of her conditions for returning to the show as she appeared on The View last June, saying it's very interesting to get a call from the head of HBO saying, "What can we do?" And I went, let me get creative. And one of those things was to get costume designer Pat Field back, because I just thought that if I'm going to come back, I got to come back with that Samantha style. I got to push it, and we did. So, Patricia Field is not a costume designer and she's not working on And Just Like That because she does other shows. And she was working on, at the time, Emily in Paris. I don't know if that show was still on, but that was a show that she was been working on. But SATC proteges Molly Rogers and Danny Santiago have basically filled in for her on the revival. And Just Like That is filming right now, and they're saying that it's set to premiere sometime in 2025. So we're not even going to see it this year because, I guess they're spending the whole summer shooting in New York. And while I do find it like it's unfortunate that Kim is not coming back, and I know I saw some of the people when I posted this on my website, well, not only on my website, but on Facebook and a bunch of other places, some people was like, well, I don't understand why she's not coming back because every other show she's been on has been canceled. Like, why are you not? What is it so like? Just compromise. Just come on. You are the show. That sort of thing. And there lies the rub, because the problem is what people were saying. The reason why they don't, that they have an issue with, well, why she won't come back. I'll say that. I'll say this is because Sarah Jessica Parker got pissed that this was her show. She was an executive producer. This was supposed to be her show where it was all about Carrie. Carrie was the lead. Everybody else was supposed to be, she's supposed to be Gladys Knight. The rest of y'all was supposed to be the Pips. But Samantha Jones's character, being this unapologetic sex positive businesswoman who lived in New York and was eating these men, chewing them up and spitting them out. The people had a problem. Apparently, she resonated so much with a lot of people. A lot of the women loved her and the gay men loved her. And according to the insiders and people that know, and the rumors over the years, and little things that Kim has alluded to, that set off SJP. And now another thing with SJP, from what I was hearing, is that she tried to sabotage Kim's negotiations of a higher raise, I believe, when they were doing the movies, which, Kim found out and pissed her off, and then was talking a lot of crap about Kim to the other co-stars of the show. So this was like her big moment. SJP has been working in Hollywood for a long time. She's done little things here and there, but Sex and the City is the show that really put SJP on the map. But when it's the final, it's like that show, you finally get to have your moment. And then, apparently it's not any fault of Kim Cattrall. Like, Kim Cattrall was sort of that girl back in the day, long before she was on Sex and the City. Like, she had so many movies that she was a part of: Big Trouble in Little China, Mannequin. Like, she did so many movies where Kim Cattrall was that girl in the 80s. And then, of course, when she comes aboard and does Sex and the City, it's like, yeah, you're part of this show that's revolutionary and is different, and has basically got a lot of the Gen X girls all excited, because it's like, oh yeah, I can relate to these girls in some sort of way. This is like talking about women in their 30s who are single, who are trying to navigate the world. Well, I can't say necessarily Gen X, because Gen X weren't in their 30s when that came out. Gen X would have been basically in their late teens, early 20s, when Sex and the City became this big thing, because Sex and the City came out in what, like 90? Oh yeah, like the 90s. 98, 99, like around that time. I was trying to scroll up and see what it was 98. So around that time, if you were born in like the like 77, 78, like between 75 and 78 or whatever, like you're literally like 16 to 20. But the girls in that time were in their 30s. So maybe maybe it's the boomers. Maybe the Sex and the City girls are more or less boomers, because they're in their 50s and 60s for the most part. But anyway, I guess it doesn't matter. But I really wish that Kim Cattrall would have came back and did the show. I would have really loved to have seen her be a part of it, because this show was like one of my favorite shows. And like I told you, I've been watching Sex and the City for a long time. I was like, let me pull this picture up. I was like, I love Sex and the City. It's like, it was just a great moment in time. And just like that, I know they're trying to capture the essence of the original Sex and the City, but it's just not working. And to me, it's just like you definitely feel it's the same thing I was talking about with NSYNC. They were a quintet. They're not a quartet. Just like they're a quartet, not a trio. So it doesn't really work. They're trying to make it work and bring all these other people in. But like I said before, I'm giving this show one more season, since Kim Cattrall is not coming back. If y'all don't get me, if y'all can't figure out how to structure the show and make it work, then I'm out. Like, I never give shows like this a chance. And maybe I'm doing that because Sex and the City, it was like a show that I grew up watching, or because it was just a moment in time. And I want to give the show a chance, especially when you're, like I said, nostalgia. So I started to say, what do y'all think of this? Are y'all disappointed that Kim Cattrall is not coming back to the show that pretty much, I wouldn't say just only put all these other girls, like it pretty much solidified their careers and put them all on the map. And it was like a big moment in time for their careers and all that other stuff. So let me know what y'all think of this story in the comments down below.